All right, Linell, welcome to the show, man. Real pleasure to have you here. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here, man. Glad to share my story with you guys.
Yeah, well, we're grateful. Obviously, a worker, a father, and we'll get into your project as well. But needless to say, you've got quite a bit on your plate, and the fact that you carved out some time for us to be able to share with fathers worldwide is something we certainly appreciate. So, tell me a little bit about yourself, Linell. Let's let the listeners get a chance to know you as a person.
So yeah, I'm a single dad, currently residing in Atlanta, Georgia. Been here for 12 years, originally from Rochester, New York, upstate New York, where when it's cold, it's cold. So I had to venture out away from the cold weather and came down to the south, Atlanta, Georgia, and I love it here. I have two daughters, Brooklyn and Jordan. Brooklyn is 5, Jordan is 7. Currently, I'm a warehouse manager. That's my full-time job. Actually, I guess my full-time job would be being a dad, and I guess my part-time job would be a warehouse manager. In between all of that, I managed to come up with a brand, a movement called Happy with Daddy that I was the creator of. Coming up on 3 years at the end of July.
Excellent.
So that's what I got going on.
Yeah, man. Well, I definitely, as we go further along here, I definitely want to get some more information about Happy with Daddy. Obviously, I guess it goes without saying that sounds like it would be something right up my alley as well as our listeners. So we're looking forward to hearing a little bit about that. But before we get there, I usually like to take a look at the guest's experience with their own father, and that kind of helps me get some context of why they father the way they father, whether it's because a positive influence or a negative influence. But I'd like to know a little bit about your dad. Tell me about your dad, Linnell.
So my dad, it's funny because my dad's name is Linell as well. So I'm
Okay.
actually Linell the second. So my parents went through a divorce when I was roughly around 9 years old. And I have two sisters, two younger sisters, and my two sisters chose to go live with my mom at the time, and I chose to go live with my dad just due to sports. And he was really active in my life as far as teaching me how to dribble a basketball, teaching me how to throw a football, baseball. He coached me through some of those things, and so I chose to lean and go with my dad at that time because I thought, well, he's always there for sports advice and everything like that. So my dad he was one of those dads. He's funny. He's silly. He's goofy. He's funny. Not a lot of emotion. And as I grew older, I learned that didn't really show his emotional side. Everything was funny. Everything was cracking jokes and things like that. So he was a good dad. He did the best I think with what he knew given the circumstances and things that he battled through on his own, that he tried to do the best he could as a father, and he did good. He did good, and I think that's where I drew a lot of my parenting where I'm at now, is that I saw that, and I early on said, let me go ahead and see how I can do better. How can I give more, to my children when that day comes.
You mentioned that you're a single father. If you don't mind me asking, how did that come to be that you're a single dad of two girls?
So I got married early on. I got married at the age of 24. And the relationship, I mean, it was great. We were really, truly good friends. And we still are good friends to this day. And I think people underestimate when children get involved into the picture, what that takes and what that takes from each individual. And I think on both parties, on both sides, I think we both could have done a little bit better preparing for children and discussing what that looks like once we slow down. Because I mean, we traveled together, we hung out together, we met a lot of friends, we did all of that stuff that young fun couples and young fun married couples do. But once kids came into the picture, things really slowed down, and it was almost like we were on different pages once it slowed down, and we had to look at the dynamics of our family differently. And so that brought up some tension, that brought up some issues and some concerns, and we tried to fight through it, tried to battle through it, and it just didn't work. We realized that we were better off happy apart than trying to give this example of what we were given so far for our children.